Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, present.
Michelle Jepson.
Present.
Kate McKee.
Here.
Nathaniel Melton.
Present.
Deb Olson.
Here.
Marcia Schurz. Paul Johnson.
Here.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Good evening.
And can I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next item is approval of the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we're going to move to the informational session of the meeting. The first item is board reports, and I think that's me, right? Okay. I'm going to go over the committee of the whole minutes, just an overview. We attended and held the committee of the whole meeting on June 1st, 2020, right here in the Spooner High School Choir Room. I called the meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. We had discussion and action, consider the architecture and engineering contract. Luke Schultz and Brad Kunkel from CISA 10 were present to discuss the architecture and engineering contract with SDS Architects, Inc. And we did have a motion and approved that contract on the committee of the whole evening. We also had presentations. We had a referendum project update. Also, Luke Schultz and Brad Kunkel gave an overview of the next steps of the referendum projects. And we also discussed the administration budget authority for the referendum projects. And that had a consensus to move that tonight. We will be voting on that for giving the admin approval to authority for up to $60,000 for those projects so that everything will move forward as smoothly as possible. Then we had a discussion regarding the 2021 open enrollment applications. Mrs. Grindell gave us a little overview on that, and that was also had a consensus to move that to tonight's meeting as well. We're going to discuss 2020-2021 board meeting dates and times this evening, seeing if we're going to move those meeting times either later or earlier, depending on what is good for the majority of us and also the staff. So we had a consensus to move that also to tonight's meeting. We discussed the WIA contract renewal, which is a normal thing that we do every year. Dr. Aslan gave us some information about that, and that's also moved to tonight's meeting for a vote. And we reviewed the 2020-2021 student handbook updates, and also those are updates that we do on a continual basis just to make sure that everything is current, and that was a consensus to move to tonight's meeting as well. Then we also reviewed the 2020-2021 employee handbook updates. We had a consensus to move that as well to tonight's meeting. We had a discussion of the rollover student activity counts. Again, Mrs. Grindell said it's a procedural item that we do in June every year, and just recommendations for any counts not in good standing were given, but most of them are, so that's a consensus to move to tonight's meeting as well. And then we had a technology and professional development presentation with Mr. Miller and Mrs. Fiesel, and they gave us a presentation regarding the teacher tech team pilot overview. Sounds like it went very, very well, and it'll be something that we will hopefully continue throughout the years here. So then we also had a financial update, and I think that was all. Running out of my paper here. What was that? Reviewed the vouchers as well. Thank you. And those are moved to tonight's consent agenda, correct? Okay, and then we adjourned. So that's an overview of the committee of the whole. And so I'm going to move back to my agenda here, if I can find it. Okay. And so, is there any community comments?
There's none.
Okay, there's no community comments. Okay, so then we'll move now to the discussion action item portion of this meeting. And item A is personnel recommendations. Dr. Aslan?
So you have two resignations before you this evening to consider. First is Sharon Johnson. She's a middle school teacher, and she is retiring with 19 years of service to the district. The second is B.J. Wilson, junior varsity volleyball coach, 1 year of service.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve these resignations?
I will so move.
And a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you very much for your service to the district. We really appreciate it. Can we give them a hand, please? Okay, and the next one is we have a few hirings also, Dr. Aslan.
Yes, so 4 hirings coming forward for your consideration this evening. Jesse Sando, an elementary school teacher, replacing Katie Stipetich, and Mr. Hopke, the recommending administrator. Angela French, high school special education teacher, replacing Dave Parrish. Mr. Ham is the recommending administrator. Deanna Peterson, pupil service administrative specialist, replacing Heidi Chrisman. Mr. Ham is the recommending administrator. And Julie Endersby, high school media center paraprofessional, replacing Janine Warnke. Mr. Scherr is the recommending administrator.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve these hirings?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Welcome to the district. We're glad to have you. The next item is consider the resolution for administrative budget authority for referendum projects. Oh, I'm sorry. Acceptance of donations. Dr. Aslan.
Yes, so boy, we just continue to get great support from our community in the form of wonderful donations. Numerous individuals donating to the negative food service accounts in memory of Carol Sorensen. So just really excellent. And those donations came from Kathy Toner, Robert Perm, David and Karen Hopp, Bernard and Nancy Cole, Karen Eck, James and Sharon Ross, Mr. and Mrs. Robert Wanick, and an anonymous donor. We had a donation to the elementary and middle school gardens and garden education from the Kevin Moreau family, weed eater with an estimated value of $25 to $50. And from Box Tops for Education to the Spooner Elementary School, $96.30.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve these donations?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much to everyone that donates to the district. It's amazing how much the community does for the school district, and we really appreciate it. Okay, now I'm at item C, consider resolution for administration budget authority for referendum projects, not to exceed $60,000. Okay. And just so everyone knows, we had this resolution written in-house or through the district, and that we ran it by Steve Weld, and he made his recommendations. And so we have that before you tonight. I'm hoping that everybody got a chance to look it over. And can I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make
Adopt this
that,
resolution.
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution.
Okay.
And I'll second it.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, and can I have a roll call vote, please?
Megan Benson-Murrow,
Yes.
Michelle Jepson,
Yes.
Kate McKinney,
Yes.
Nathaniel Melton,
Yes.
Deb Olson,
Yes.
Marcia Schurz,
Yes.
Paul Johnson.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so then item D is consider the 2020-2021 open enrollment applications. Mrs. Grindell?
Do you want me to recap it or just?
And has everybody got a chance to look at everything? Would you like her to recap at all?
Maybe just for the public's sake.
Again, just kind of a yearly thing that we do once the open enrollment period ends. The board was given a more detailed list of, obviously, of all the applicants, and then there was the memo that was provided to board docs, and we're just looking for approval for the ins and outs of open enrollment for those students.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the open enrollment applications, please?
I make a motion that we approve open enrollment applications.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item E on the agenda is considered the 2020-2021 board meeting dates and times. Okay, so everybody has had a chance to look at this. And I do know that it's not going to be good for everyone, but we're going to try to do the majority. I'm going to have a motion and then a second, and then we can open it up for a discussion to see what is best for everyone moving forward. So can I have a motion to, is that how I'm supposed to do that? Okay. Motion to approve the meeting dates and times.
Is that with at 5:30? Or the way it
We can
is?
So
just-
you're looking for a motion to approve these as published?
As published?
Yes.
Okay. What about the discussion part?
Well, you'd get a motion in a second.
Okay.
And then have some discussion.
Okay. And then can we change it if we
You
need to?
can, then whoever makes the motion in the second, just rescind that and a new motion is made.
Okay, okay. Okay, so I would like a motion
We will make a motion so that we can discuss.
to
it, yes.
approve
Yes.
the dates and times as written, please.
Yes. I will make that motion.
Okay? and a
I will second that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any discussion?
Yes, I ask that we consider just changing the times to be consistent for both the meeting of the whole for both meetings to 5:30.
Okay, okay. And then?
Okay, I have a scheduling conflict with my employer. They laid off 15 people in the last week, so I cannot make both meetings at 5:30.
Okay.
So I would have to resign, is how it is. I can make a 5:30 and I can make a 6 every other week, but I cannot make both at 5:30.
Okay.
And that's something that, with my employer, has made some changes in the last week, so.
Okay, okay.
I would say, after hearing that, I would say, for the sake of consistency, let's make it 6 o'clock for both meetings then.
Are we gonna have a problem with staff at that point?
I have some concerns with going later than the 5:30 time with the committee of the whole, simply because we've, with the 5 o'clock start time, we've had a lot of staff participation in various presentations as we've done this committee of the whole structure
Right.
for the past year or so. And I, due in large part to their ability to stay after the duty day ends. So that would be an insight I'd ask the board to consider as they make a decision on this evening.
Well, and I also, one of the concerns I have about the 5 o'clock meeting time for the committee of the whole is just that at some point, we're gonna have board turnaround, and there's gonna be people that are working till 5 PM, and that's going to limit our ability to get qualified people to want to come and serve on the board. So I know for the sake of consistency, that is what we really wanna do, but I would hope that we could maybe do the committee of the whole at 5:30, which would help that time frame, and also keep the board meeting at 6 PM. I know we're back to the one time here and one time here, but I think for the sake of everyone involved, staff, board members, presentations, time it takes for the committee of the whole meetings, that we gain that extra half an hour. I think that helps, especially sometimes as we are going through now an easy period of time, but there's going to be maybe a time where it won't be that easy and we will be here for an extended period of time. So, anybody else have anything to add?
My thought is that we as a board are responsible for working together and making sure that we do what's best for this district and our students. And I think that to create a hardship for board members is not what we should be doing. We really need to, if we have a board member that says, I have got to make special arrangements just to make a 5:30 meeting.
Right.
I truly believe that we as a board have got to make it to where our board members are not, it should not be a hardship to serve on this board. And that's where I would say the 6 o'clock is really ideal, where at least one of us is not going to have to leave work early and create a hardship.
I have a compromise. I can do a 5:30 on the committee of the whole
Okay.
and a 6 o'clock. My
Okay.
boss has agreed to stay for me.
Okay.
Because of that, because she
And
knew
so
I
that-
committed.
Okay, so that part is not
That's
a,
fine. No,
that's
it's
not a
not an
problem.
issue.
Okay. Does Nathaniel, do you have
No,
any other?
I think we leave it as is and vote as is the motion then, with that additional information, which would be 5:30 and 6, and with the dates that are already listed
No, it'd
on
be
the
5 and
calendar.
6. It's published, isn't it?
It's published as
written at
5:30 and 5:30, correct?
So you'd look for,
So I'd look-
rescind the motion.
Okay, if you
in
could
second.
rescind your motion
I
in
rescind
second?
my motion
Okay,
and restate it to be 5:30 and 6.
But rescind the second.
rescind in second.
Rescind the second.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I'll
Now you can do it.
I'll remake a motion to have them at 5:30 and 6.
Okay. All right, do I have a second for
Second.
that? Okay.
All right.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, great, wonderful, thank you very much for that. Okay. All right, so then we're at item F, is consider the annual WIAA membership renewal. Dr. Eslin? Nope.
You have the form
Yep.
that we did not have for last meeting. It's just a recap of the annual
And
renewal.
everybody looked at it and we're all good?
Yep.
Okay, so can I have a motion to approve that
I'll make a
membership
motion that
renewal?
we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposed? All righty. Okay, so now we're at item G, is consider the first reading of the 2020-2021 Student Handbook updates. I hope that all of you have had the time to look at those and read them, and if you had any questions, bring those up to whoever, would be able to answer them for you. I would entertain a motion to approve the first reading of the student handbook updates.
I would so move.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. The next item is item H, to consider the first reading of the 2020-2021 Employee Handbook updates. I would ask that whoever makes this motion, we discuss this as tabling the 403B contribution. So I would ask that you make a motion to approve the first reading, tabling that portion of the updates and waive the second reading as presented at the Cal meeting.
You got it, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Did I do okay? All right. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Okay. Second?
I will second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Opposed? All right. Okay, so then item I is consider the rollover of student activity accounts. And of course, we went through those. Mrs. Grindell gave us the overview on that. Any questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the rollover of student activity accounts.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. If you just give me 1 second here. Okay, so number 6 is pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85, parent 1, parent C, to consider the employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. I would like a motion to convene into closed session, please.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Megan Benson Moreau,
Yes.
Michelle Jepson,
Yes.
Kate McKinney,
Yes.
Nathaniel Melton,
Yes.
Deb Olson,
Yes.
Marcia Schurz,
Yes.
Paul Johnson.
Yes.
Okay. Are we done? Okay. Okay, so we're going to reconvene into open session at 6.
The time now is 6:48.
Okay,
The
great.
board is now in open session. We were in closed session until 6:47. And at this point, we are reporting that the board took no action during a closed session. So at this point, it's your turn to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, can I have a motion to
I
adjourn,
make-
please?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.